lovely cushioned header. But Gerrard! Oh, you beauty! What a head, son! What a hit! Well, you take a second in these circumstances. What you have seen.
Hey everyone, and welcome to the latest episode of the LFC Couch. My name is Steve, and I'll be your host today. And joining me, we have got, as usual, we've got Lee Boy. So Lee is here. Lee, how are you doing?
Oh, I'm very good, Steve.
Good.
I'm back with another win.
Was it?
Days.
Yeah. Nice easy win this morning. But we have also got someone else joining us. So I'll bring him in. We have got Paul Garrard with us today. I've known him for many years as a young lad. We go back a way. And Paul's been interacting quite a lot on Twitter with the LFC Couch page, and myself and Lee. So we always like to get new people on. So Paul, how are you doing?
Hi guys. Yeah, I'm good, thanks. How are you?
Good. Yeah, very good, mate. It's good to get you on finally. We've tried to bait you before and get you on, and we've now finally nailed you down. So what we do with everyone who's new to the couch is basically just ask where you are in the world, which I already know, and just explain how you came about being a Liverpool fan. So over to you, Paul.
Okay, so I'm in sunny England at the minute, which is not so sunny. Bedford, where I'm from, born and bred, which is where I know Steve from. Went to school with Steve and Lee. Lee and Steve were in the same year at school, I think, and I was a year below.
Yeah.
So that's where I am. And
10G3.
really, because of you guys, the Wilding brothers. I don't know whether you guys knew that, but so my mum passed away when I was 11. She was born and grew up in Birkenhead, which is the other side of the Mersey. She actually lived opposite Prenton Park, but I didn't go with Tranmere. I thought Liverpool was a team for me. Obviously, I played football with you guys. Your candy shirts. And,
of course.
Yeah, to be honest, it was you guys that sort of gave me that nudge in the right direction. And my dad wasn't really much of a football fan, but now he's an avid Red, taking me to the games and watching them on the telly. So.
Good lad. So we're a bunch of knobheads, me and my brothers, but we've done something good then if we've helped get you to support Liverpool. I do remember sort of as a young kid, I mean, your mum used to help out when I think my mum was working, and I used to come back to yours before or after school.
Yeah.
So I remember that. When random facts, but Paul had the biggest rabbit or something in his garden that I remember. It's probably bigger than me. But no, all good. It's good to get you on. And your brother's a Red as well, isn't he?
He is, yeah. Yeah, he's don't get to chat to him much, to be honest. We're growing apart. He's doing his thing, I'm doing my thing. But
these things happen.
the one thing that we do chat about when we do manage to chat is Liverpool. So
that's it. Football is a beautiful thing. It brings people together. So
it does indeed.
All right. So to crack on and get you into it, Paul. A couple of weeks ago, I did a pod with Lee and Terry, and I asked them both to rattle off their 3 favourite moments of the season so far. So just to kick off with you, ignoring the obvious of winning the league, because that will be everyone's now probably, but what would be your 3 favourite moments of the league so far?
Okay, so you dropped this question to me last night for me. It would have been earlier in the day for you. So a quick thing before I went to bed. There's some obvious ones that have been mentioned before, so I won't choose those, but I will mention them. Fab's goal against City.
Yep.
Which was just was a great strike and set us up for that game. The Leicester 4-0 win, just the performance through the whole team, especially Trent. And the World Club Championship win, obviously it's something that we've not won before. It was nice that we got that goal for us. The 3 that I've chosen though is Trent's free kick against Chelsea.
Okay.
I like that. Always hated going to Stamford Bridge to play. Always one that I dreaded from sort of years gone by. especially the Mourinho teams.
Yeah.
So for him to get a quality goal like that in sort of at that point, it was a game that people were maybe questioning, one that we're going to slip up on. So he got that goal, and I think just before that, Azpilicueta had a goal disallowed.
I think
the other end scored. So that swing, it really sort of gave us that impetus. And
yeah, it was either just before Trent's goal or just after.
it might have been after, yeah.
But yeah, big sort of moment in the game, and I think it was our 6th game of the season. And I think to get that big win away early on in the season, to make it 6 wins in 6, was big performance. So no, it's an interesting one because no one else picked that. So I like that one.
My second one, another Scouser in the team, Curtis Jones, his goal against Everton, the FA Cup. Just timing of it, the quality of it. He's a local lad, young, in front of a full house. And the fact that he was playing with a load of kids as well just made it that much better.
Yeah, it was pretty sweet. The whole result.
My first, I took my little lad, Leo, who's just turned 7, he was 6 at the time, down to part where the other 2 Wilding brothers go and watch them, Fox and Hounds. The old Litton Tree cockfights, and I was down there with them, and that was the first time I sort of allowed myself to think and sing the Now You're Going to Believe Us. So that's my 3rd moment of the season.
Yeah, I think we mentioned it before. That's one of them big moments with the way the season's turned out with the pandemic and the suspension and not having fans there. That's the one moment that a lot of fans will look back as their moment of sort of celebrating that the league was coming back for the first time in 30 years, because it was the first time that Liverpool fans openly shouted that we were going to win it. We'd all sort of had our own little discussions and our own little thoughts in our head, but as soon as Salah scored that goal, that was it. It was like a massive explosion of, that's it, we can just shout it now. Because it was, we're so far ahead of that stage, so that's a big moment. So, like I say, the fans aren't going to get their moment of, or didn't get their moment of seeing it in the stadium, but that's as close as they're going to get. So I think that's the key point of the season. So, no, good points there, Paul. Lee, we haven't spoke for a couple of weeks, have we? So last time we had a chat was just after we won the league.
Yeah, we done it whilst you were driving.
That's the one. So since then, we've obviously played 3 games, haven't we? No, not at all. Hands free. It was all good. But now since then, we've had 3 games. So first one up was City, which we all know how that went. Got any comments on that, Lee?
No, I didn't even watch it.
Did you not?
Oh, I was at work, yeah. It was an early start for me. And, once I figured out the result, I had every intention to do so. And, I just thought, what's the point of this? Just couldn't be bothered. I just kept seeing the guard of honour over and over again, and Bernardo being a dick.
Being a dickhead, yeah. I mean, I got up to watch it because I wanted to see the Guard of Honour, and I get up for every game, but it was a shame.
Yeah, I haven't seen the goal, I haven't seen anything.
I mean, Paul, you watched it. I know you did. We won't spend a long time on the game. I just wanted to touch on it. But yes, we lost 4-0. Yes, on paper, that's a bit of a battering, but until they went 1-0 up, it was a very close game. Mo Salah hit the post. Mane had a couple of chances, and so the 4-0 battering doesn't quite do the game justice, or our performance justice. And look, it is what it is. If we're going to lose, you'd rather we lose after we won the league, so who cares? It's done. It's the most comfortable I've been watching a game when we've lost. I mean, even when Mahrez got a goal to make it 5-0, I didn't even react to that. I just sort of sat there going, oh well.
Yeah, I saw someone on Twitter say, it's the weirdest feeling they've ever experienced, being annoyed of the result but not bothered about it.
Yeah, it was weird. But a few people were ranting about the performance. I don't think the performance was that bad, but the result was shite.
There was some isolated poor performances. I mean, Robbo. I mean, he's been highlighted by every pundit. It did look like he had been on the A all week.
Of course.
But it was going to happen at one point, and like you say, I'd rather it have happened after we won it than had to go there and have to win. and then got back 4-0.
Exactly. So it's all done and dusted. So, yeah, annoyed by the scoreline, but not bothered as a whole, if that makes any sense. So that was done. Then after that was obviously Villa, which was a few days back. That was a poor game. But obviously got the result there of 2-0 win, which when you started mentioning earlier, Paul, about one of your moments of the season, you said Curtis Jones. I wondered if you were going to pluck that one out of Curtis Jones getting his first Premier League goal there.
I could have, but I just thought full out at Anfield.
Yeah.
The winner against Everton in the FA Cup. You know, when I was growing up, the FA Cup was like, it really meant something. And you dreamed about, you know, scoring a goal in the FA Cup final at Wembley sort of thing. So that's sort of, I leant towards that one. But yeah, maybe if the Cop had been full, I might have lent that one.
Yeah, but still,
it's unfortunate it was empty. I mean, for him, it's still a goal in front of the Cop in a meaningful game. But if that had been a full Cop, it might have been different. I mean, Hendo's reaction was awesome.
Exactly. Yeah, and I don't know if you saw the interview afterwards with Curtis Jones, and they said, "Is it a shame that there's no fans there?" And he said, "No." He said, "It's a Premier League goal for me," and he's happy. So he's got the right attitude there. So it was good to see. And obviously, Mane got the other, which was a good little finish. Nice little ball through from Navigator, but it's just a weird game and it was quite poor. So it was good. It's good to see the game this morning. Now, Paul, you and I both watched this game in a bizarre way, which is random. So we both missed the first 20 odd minutes.
Yeah.
Tuned in and it was 2-0. Watched the rest of the game. And then when the game finishes, go back and watch the first 20 odd minutes. Now, Paul was obviously busy with work things and I was having fun with children, but it's what it is. So it's a bizarre way of watching it. Lee, did you watch it live or have you watched it since finishing work?
Yeah, no, I didn't watch it live. I knew I didn't have to get up early today because, as I said to you earlier, I had a knee appointment. So I got up at like 7:30 and watched it from scratch there.
Okay.
And I just watched, as you know, Optus Sport, the little mini match thing, just a little recap.
Yeah. No, it was good. So, as I say, it was a weird one to watch it in a sort of backwards way. So, pretty much, I think I picked it up from the water break, which I think coincided with Liverpool shitting bricks and just sort of their performance going a little bit down. But, yeah, so I recapped and watched it in a backwards way. But sort of, what were your thoughts on the lineup, Paul? And obviously, we're going to see some rotation as the season goes because the games are coming thick and fast. But what did you think to the lineup? Surprised by it, or?
Williams at left back was a bit of a surprise. Obviously, we're banding him about as the second best right back in the league. So for him to pop up for his full league debut at left back was a bit of a surprise. But again, he did well. He fell away a little bit towards the end of the first half.
Yeah,
got booked. He had a couple of against that Lamptey lad who looks pretty decent. He had his work cut out, but yeah, that was a surprise. But I think he did himself justice. Did really well.
Yeah, and then the rest of the team, I think there wasn't any major. The only other major surprise for me was Ox playing in the front three, which just doesn't work for me. He's not.
But then, to be fair, when Div played against Villa, I noted down to mention it. I don't think he's a starter. He just doesn't seem to get into the game as a starter. He's more of an impact bench player.
Yeah. It just surprised me with the whole Ox position in there because you think if I expected him to rotate some of the front three or rest at least one of them, I was more expecting Minamino to come in. To see Ox there was a bit of a surprise for me. But apart from that, the team is what you would expect. Now, we'll go on to Nico Williams. We'll do Nico Williams now before we talk about anything else. You mentioned it there, Paul. I was surprised to see him start at left back. Like everyone's talking about him, second best behind Trent. He's going to be the backup. And then he gets put out on the left back position, which is a bit of a surprise decision for me because for a youngster to make your first league appearance but being put completely out of position on the wrong flank, it's a big ask for the kid. But he played quite well. First 20 minutes, he did well. He did some. He had a couple of Trent-esque sort of diagonal passes across the pitch. Got involved, and then he started to get. I think you just mentioned it there, Paul. Started to get found out a little bit. Their winger was getting in behind him a few times, and then picked up that booking, which is why Klopp said he took him off. There was nothing to do with his performance. He did it because of the booking, which was the same as Gomez at City. Which is fine, wants to protect him. I just found it a bit weird to throw him in at left back. It would have made more sense to have Nico Williams right back and then possibly Trent at left back, who's not a left back by trade, but he's got more experience in the first team. So to throw a kid in for his league debut and then put him out of position, I thought was a bit of a weird one. But Lee, what did you think of Nico's performance?
As we just touched on there, I think he was pretty excellent for the first, 25 minutes, half an hour or so. He linked up well with Ox down the left. I'll save my opinions on Ox at left wing, but I thought he did outstanding, really. And then, we got 2-0 lead. And, whether he took a foot off the gas or something, I don't know, or he relaxed a little too much. I'm not sure, but, we let Brighton back into the game, and I think he was a big part of it with, as Paul said, Lamptey down the right side. So,
yeah, well, I think with Brighton, we'll go back to the beginning of the game. I like the way Brighton play this year.
Yeah.
New manager Potter's come in. Obviously, had Chris Hughton there, and he'd always kept them up, scraped them up, and kept them safe last year. And I found that a bit of a surprise that they got rid of him. But actually seeing Potter come in and he's got them playing a sort of style of football that's good. They look an exciting team to watch. Now, results haven't all gone their way, but they've got that performance there now, which is good. And if you remember back to the Anfield game against them, they gave us some real problems in that game. We got away with a 2-1 win, which was the game where Alisson got sent off. Mm-hmm. And then Adrian came in goal and conceded the free kick within about 10 seconds of being on the pitch. But they gave us some real problems there. And it was, I think, Proper who created a lot of issues for us that day. Mm-hmm. And so I was interested to see how the game went, because Brighton will open up and play against you, which is what we sort of like. But then sometimes they get a little hold of the game, and there were moments where they put us under pressure. But obviously the game started. We'll go straight on to the first goal now then. So was it 6 minutes in? And a goal for Salah. So Paul, thoughts on the goal?
It's just typical us, pressing, high press, putting pressure on, causing the mistakes, and Mo did what he did. Coming in from that right-hand side, bottom corner, lovely finish. Bobby probably could have taken a swing at it, but whether he had a call or whether he knew Mo was there going for the golden boot, who knows? But that's the type of player Bobby is, isn't it? He's a selfless player, so...
Yeah, exactly that. And I think a lot of people have pointed out on social media that you watch Bobby in there, he just doesn't go for it at all. Whether there's a big shout, like you say, or he's just aware that he's coming, he's just not interested in hitting that at all. But go back to how you started that. I think the goal does sum us up 100%. Naby Keita's nipped in there and got that ball. And I think it was from, I mentioned him earlier, Proper, who had a good game against us at Anfield. And it was him who he nicked the ball off this time. So he nipped in there quickly, got it, and then fizzed it across with Bobby just leaving it, and Mo with a nice little finish in the far corner, which was a great start. And then obviously, I think it was like 2 minutes and 20 seconds later, and goal number 2 came. So Lee, thoughts on that one?
Immediately after he scored, I thought Steven Gerrard. That's the kind of finish he would hit. I remember him scoring one. I think it was against Marseille, the champions.
It was Marseille. It went a bit further in the top corner.
Yeah, it was very similar to that. Again, nice pressing, caused a mistake, got the ball, obviously fed his way to Mo, and just a little, essentially just a touch away from him, and Hendo was straight onto it. I hold Matt Ryan in a very high caliber for a goalkeeper. But he was getting nowhere near that. that was just a beautiful finish away from the keeper. Yeah, can't ask much more than that.
No,
I think
like 8 minutes in and you think you're 2-0 up, you think the floodgate's going to open then.
Yeah.
But
I think most players would have gone the opposite side of the goal than Hendo did. When I first saw it, I thought he was going to go that way. And like I say, he switched it to the other side, and not many players would have gone for that.
No, and it's not your typical Hendo sort of thing as well. It surprised me when, obviously, I knew he was going to score, and because of the way I watched it, I guessed as he ran onto it, this is going to be the goal. But I think if I'd watched that live and hadn't had to watch it in a backwards way, that would have taken me completely by surprise the way he took that. So, no, Lee, you're right. It is sort of similar to that Marseille one that Gerrard scored.
I'll tell you another one, actually. Remember that 13-14 game against City Anfield? Coutinho from the edge of the box. That was on the other side, of course, but very similar take on it. Like,
when he scores goals, they're usually from edge of the box into a corner, aren't they? You know, he doesn't do tap-ins.
No, he doesn't score enough though. That's the one thing he needs to up his game a little bit. But then he does a selfless job for the rest of the team. So I'm not going to
link up
with the front three now. Front three now at 250 goals in Klopp's reign.
And Klopp said he's very thankful for them, because if he didn't have them, it'd be where else would he make 250 goals up from? So, fair play. But then all the Man United fans would like to tell you that Rashford, Martial, and is it Greenwood, that they're better just because they've scored more goals immediately.
I tell you what, mate, I watched them play against Bournemouth, and that Greenwood kid is lightning.
Oh, he's going to be good.
He's going to be massive for England and obviously for United. So,
but I did.
Not that I would like. I don't think they're better players in half front three, but they've got some talent on their hands with Rashford and him.
I did look for some stats because someone mentioned this to me, that they'd taken over our front three for goals. Yeah. And ours are mainly, apart from the two in the Super Cup and the one at the World Club Championship for Bobby, all of ours are Premier League or Champions League.
Yeah, well, most of theirs against Farmers in the Europa League.
Farmers in the Europa League, or just got a few in the EFL Cup as well. So, you know.
Shit.
Random statement. We're talking about forwards and you just dropping about Harry Maguire being shit.
He was shit.
Most expensive defender in the world.
Oh, he's awful. Anyway, play on.
But anyway, so I agree. I do agree. But I don't want to talk about Man United anymore. Let's be honest. Let's just move on from that. So, where are we at? 2-0 up, 8 minutes gone. Everything's going well. We had a few more sort of good moves, good chances. But as I've thought quite a few times since the season's restarted, this water break, this drinks break, it stops your momentum.
Yeah.
And you can use it to your advantage sometimes if you're up against the wall. Yeah, no problem. But and I think it showed in this game, because there was a clear difference from 22nd, 23rd minute, whenever they do that water break. And then when they come back out, Brighton then came back out in the ascendancy. And I've seen it in quite a few games, and I'm not quite sure. Is it really that needed? I don't know.
It was planned because obviously they're playing into the summer in England. As you boys know, an English summer does not mean sun and heat. That's what I heard or read that it was brought in for. Because they're playing further into the warm weather than they usually do. But I think the last couple of weeks we've had hardly any sun. They could have taken it out, because it does, like you say, for some teams it's a benefit if they're on the ropes. But for a team like Liverpool, that we play the way we play, the pressing, the speed, the stop-start doesn't work for us.
No, I mean, the only benefit I see we'd get from it is in a game if we were proper under the cosh from somebody, if we'd come out and we'd started really poorly. And the only reason I see that is because it would give Klopp a couple of minutes to get the team in, have a chat with them, make a couple of tweaks, but I don't see the need for the water break. I might be wrong. I mean, look, players might say they need it. They're not full fitness yet, and there's a lot of games coming, so it breaks the game up a little bit. But I just think it does ruin momentum a little bit. But look, it is what it is. We were doing well, and then Brighton stepped it up. And as much as we started making a few sloppy mistakes, I think you've got to give credit to Brighton. Let's not dwell on it and say let's not dwell on it and say we were poor. Let's give Brighton the credit they deserve. They came at us. They played some good football. Alisson had to make one very good save from close range. As usual, we relied on him, and he sort of came up trumps. And then they obviously got their goal just before half-time, and it was... I'm not going to point any fingers at our team. A few people have suggested Nico Williams was at fault, but I think, look, the kid's young, he's playing at a position. Let's just give Brighton the credit. It was a very well-worked goal, and it was a very well-taken finish as well. So, Lee, you're nodding. Let's hear your opinion.
Well, I was about to say as well, before that Alisson save, Nico did do a brilliant block just in front of goal as well.
Yeah, he did.
In front of Ali. So, again, credit where it's due. For their goal, you can see Nico got drawn inside. Now, being a natural right-footed and a right back, you've probably got a tendency to come inside because you're not comfortable on the left. So I can't necessarily blame him. I think it's just inexperience more than anything else.
That's what happened to Robbo against City. He got drawn into a couple of challenges and they played it around him. So,
we're not talking about a City game. That's just raised from memory. That didn't exist. Everyone was pissed. But again, that finish from was beautiful. That was a cracking goal. Cracking cross as well, let's not forget. But yeah, not the greatest defender. Again, as you said, full credit to Brighton and full credit to Trossard for a great goal.
Yeah, no, hit the nail on the head there. So I've got no complaints going 2-1. I think it was... The scoreline sort of reflected the game at that point.
Right at the last time as well.
Yeah, so the time you don't want to concede. But I don't know if you guys, did you see the stat that obviously the first goal that we scored, for Salah's goal, was the first goal we'd scored since February the 16th, away from home, which is the longest we've gone. Obviously, I know there was the big break, but we'd gone through. We saw it was against Norwich in February where Mane scored and we won 1-0. And then after that, we played Watford away. We lost 3-0. We played Everton in the league. We played City in the league. And obviously we drew with Everton 0-0. We lost to City 4-0. And then you throw in the Chelsea FA Cup game where we lost 2-0. And then you throw in the Atletico Madrid game where we lost 1-0. So we'd gone 5 and a bit games without scoring away from home. And I think that's the longest we've gone in 28 years. So it's good to get that monkey off your back. But obviously you get that one goal. This like buses, the second one comes. But it was just a random stat that was floating about. And everyone was going, they've been rubbish away from home. Yeah, but we've just won the league. So I don't care about records, about not scoring away from home, really, if you're just going to go and win the league. But that broke that. But second half was a good game. A few chances each end. One of the big things that happened in there, we'll go on to Salah's goal, but Henderson's injury. He took a whack in his knee and doesn't sound like
he didn't look happy coming off.
No, and he's the sort of player that if he goes off injured, he's hurt. It's a similar thing to like James. If James Milner goes down and stays down, it's a proper injury. Jordan Henderson, if you remember back to the Barcelona game at Anfield, he got absolutely whacked, and they didn't think he was going to carry on. And even Klopp said afterwards he didn't think he could carry on, but he sort of pulled himself up and carried on. And to see him limp off the way he did, a little bit concerned there. They're obviously going to do scans. So obviously this season's done. We've won the league. We've got a few games left. There's still records to chase, but if Henderson's going to miss the rest of the season, it'll be a shame because he'd like to play it out, I think. But depending on how serious it is, don't forget, next season is going to be here before we know it as well. There's not going to be a big break. So be interested to see how serious that injury is, because he's critical for us. People have given him so much stick over the years, but you watch the games when he doesn't play, and you see a difference in tempo in our play, like the Villa game we spoke about a little bit earlier.
Oh, when he came on, he changed it.
Yeah. Him and Firmino came on, didn't they?
Yeah.
And just completely changed the tempo of the game. Everything was a little bit lackluster beforehand, but Henderson is there. He's chasing everything. He's wanting to do it. He's getting the ball, passing it on quickly. It just speeds up the tempo of our play, which then plays into our hands. So for me, he's a massive loss when he doesn't play. And even go back to 2013-14 when he got suspended and missed those last few games.
Yeah.
Massive.
I think you'll find as well that when Hendo's not there, Trent gets found out a bit more because Hendo usually goes into that right spot when Trent goes up. So we'll be interested to see what happens. The obvious solution is Milner. Now he's back, but again, like, will he have to go full John Terry though to lift the trophy?
Oh, you've got to, haven't you?
He has to.
I was thinking this earlier, like, obviously, I do my designs, and one of the things is having Henderson lifting the trophy, but within the shape of the trophy. And I'm just waiting for that moment of him lifting the trophy. And then I was like, is he just going to come out in a tracksuit and do it? I want him in the kit. So he's got, as much as John Terry got all that abuse back then, Jordan Henderson's got to do it for me.
Yeah, I agree.
I'm just waiting for that image. And there's a lot of people already who've got stuff out there now who've done designs of drawing of Henderson lifting it. It could all go Pete Tong if he doesn't lift it. He will. He's the club captain. He'll be there. It's just whether he's in his full kit.
Yeah.
A full on John Terry. So we'll see.
Get Pop to lift it.
Bloody should. But as second half, one thing that struck me in that game was Mo Salah and how desperate he was to get some goals. Now, he's going for, is it third Golden Boot in a row?
Yeah.
Because he won it in his first season. He came joint top with Mane and Aubameyang last year. Now, this year, he's quite a few behind. I think Vardy's in first place with like 22 goals.
I think he's only 2 behind now.
He's 3. I think he's 3. Vardy's got 22, Salah's got 19, and Aubameyang's got 20. So you can see he's desperate to do it, and it showed in the game. Like, obviously, he got his second goal, which was our third, which was direct as a result of the corner from Robbo, whipped in. He played well when he came on second half, I thought. And so he got that. Great header at the near post, but there was other chances where you think he could have just passed it, where he took on the chance a bit sort of too much himself. And then we had that moment, literally last kick of the game, where he should have buried it, the header, and he put it over. But it just struck me how hungry he appeared again to want that goal.
In regards to that last one, I don't know whether they covered it on your coverage over there, but they mentioned it after the game that potentially he was offside for that header if it had gone in anyway.
Oh, was he? No, they didn't mention that.
They didn't show it, but there was one of the pundits, I can't remember who it was, said that potentially it probably would have been ruled out he was just offside. I haven't watched it back to see yet, though.
I'll have to watch that after we finish and just check it out. But no, I mean, he should be scoring there. But look, at the end of the day, the game was wrapped up.
Yeah.
We get the 3-1 win. And what's that now? 30 wins in 34?
Yeah.
92 points, so that was another record we set. Quickest team to ever get to 30 wins in a season. So this year we're just knocking down all the records. So we've got 92 points, 4 games left, so we can get a maximum of 104 points. Now, Lee, if you remember when we had Terry on the pod, we did our predictions of how many points we all thought we'd get.
Yeah. Said 102.
You said 102. I said 104. So we've got to get maximum points to achieve that. So I don't know. I don't think
it's a tough one.
It's a tough one, but look, at the end of the day, we're in a good position now to break that record. The main thing I want now, I don't care about the 104 points. Just 101 will do me. Yeah. Just so we can go and say most points ever. Win the league by the most amount of points. We're currently, 23 points ahead? And City hold the record
Yeah.
with, I think they beat United by 20 points, didn't they, in the 17-18 season? So there's that record to go.
I think it was 20.
So yeah, so we can get the highest points total. We can win the league by the most amount of points. We've won the league the earliest ever. We won the league the latest ever, which is not really a record to be proud of because that's just what happened. Fastest team to ever get to 30 wins in a season, and yeah, we're just knocking those records down. And at the moment, with 92 points, I had a little look because I do my little tallies of point comparisons, and it's at 92 points. There's only ever been, is it 5 teams that have bettered that?
One of them was us.
And one of them was us last season. The other was Chelsea in 04-05, where obviously Mourinho had just come in and they absolutely smashed the league. They got 95 that year. Chelsea in 16-17, they got 93 points. City in 18-19, getting the 98 points. Us in 18-19, getting 97. And then City getting 100 points in 2017-2018 season. So there's no reason why we can't eclipse all of those, but we'll see. I think we have got some tricky games like Chelsea away. No, it's at Anfield, isn't it? Chelsea at home, second from last game of the season, with them pushing for top 4. I think they're going to be primed up for that one. Newcastle.
Hopefully, we will be though for that one though, because that will be the trophy
title lifting day. Yeah.
Yeah. So you don't
want to lose and then do it.
That.
Yeah. It's the last game at Anfield. It's when we get to lift the title. So we shall see. And then who else? We've got Burnley this weekend.
Mm-hmm.
It's a quick turnaround for both of us, to be honest.
I think as well, Nick Pope's leading the clean sheet race as well.
Yeah, I did see that.
Yeah.
Is he one ahead of Alisson?
Yeah, need to win them 1-0, 2-0, 3-0, whatever. Even it up.
We want the Golden Glove for Alisson again. So yeah, we've got Burnley, Arsenal, Chelsea, Newcastle. So there are some tricky games there. Arsenal aren't great, but are they going to try and sneak into the Europa? Chelsea going for top 4. Burnley are Burnley, and they're just going to be a dogged team. If we get a goal early against them, then we could get 3 or 4, I think. And then Newcastle at the end of the season, who have been doing well up until this last game this morning or last night for you, Paul, with Man City smashing them. So, Paul, how many points do you think we're going to end up now?
I think we could. I think the Chelsea game is the trickiest. Yeah. But because it's going to be the title lift, I'm hopeful that we'll be on our game. So I'm going to go for maximum 12 out of 12 left. So 104.
104. Now, Lee, when we last did it, you got it wrong, so I'm bringing you back into the game. What do you reckon now?
Oh, God, who knows? I mean, as I spoke to you when you did the car episode, as it's now known, I said this team isn't designed to relax. We're not set up to take a break. So regardless if, we beat Burnley, which we should, especially at Anfield. Trophy lifting day, that's obviously a big incentive to be happy, get a win and be pumped. You don't want to be all pissed off because you lost again. Ooh, trophy, yeah, what we do. You want to go at them hard, get the 3 points and then do the trophy lift and sail off in the sunset against Newcastle. I think we'll probably get a draw against Chelsea. That's my tip. I can't see us not beating Burnley, Arsenal, and Newcastle. We always smash Arsenal. It doesn't matter.
So you're going for 102 then? 102
is my tipping.
Well, I'm just going to stick with my original one, so I'm going 104, and we'll just leave it at that. And we'll just you can congratulate me at the end of the season and say, "Well done, Steve. You called it. You called it with about 9 games to go."
Oh shit!
But no, it'll be good. I mean, look.
What did you say last time? What did you tip?
Me?
Yeah.
I tipped 104, and I'm sticking with it.
Did you?
Yeah. You can go and play back and listen to it.
Yeah.
I think Terry said 105 and I went 104. So
Yeah, I think I said 106.
So now I'm sticking with that. And at the end of the day, beginning of the season, I didn't care about 100 points. I didn't care about getting the most points record. I didn't care about winning the league by 20 odd points or as many as we could. All I cared about was winning the league, and we've done that now. So while we've done that, we might as well now just push on and try and get as many points as we can. And then Leah mentioned it before in our last pod, because I think if we finish this season as strong as possible, it then gets us on the right foot for next year. Because if we finish this as a bloody damp squib and we're rubbish, it leaves a little bit of a sour taste. So get those wins, get as many points as possible, set the records. And as Pete and George declared us on their last pod, we can be the GOATs.
Yeah.
What I've noticed with the British commentary in the games is, and the media, they're banging on about this points record now, just like they were banging on about our unbeaten record up into Watford, and it became annoying. Yeah. And then obviously when we lost to Watford, it was like the greatest day. In fact, I think it was voted as the best moment in the Premier League this year by fans.
Oh,
was us losing to Watford, and it's big. The points total is now becoming a thing up between now and the end of the season. And I mean, Klopp plays it down in every press conference he does, but they won't let up on it, and it does get on my nerves that they can't just let us play our games.
I bet listening to the likes of...
The press will go crazy. If we finish on 99, the press will go mental. Press and I quit on Twitter. Yeah,
try and downplay what we've achieved because we only got 99 points. But Paul, I sympathise with you because you've got to listen to the likes of Martin Tyler.
Oh, I tried last night. I tried listening to 5 Live by watching on TV, but 5 Live were about 7 or 8 seconds behind. And I actually watched Brighton's goal on the telly, and then they commentated on it 7 seconds later. So I had to turn it off because it was annoying. Yeah. So I'm trying anything and everything to not listen to Martin Tyler.
Yeah, I mean, look, when I first moved out here 3.5 years ago, I used to stream the games still through Sky Sports and BT Sports as much as I could. But I've just got sick and tired of Martin Tyler that I'm so happy to watch it on Optus Sports because we've got Jim Beglin and Peter Drury most of the time, and I like them as a combination when they do commentary. I mean, which game was it? Last season, Chelsea, when Salah scored that screamer. I know it wasn't because actually Martin Tyler actually sounded excited at that point. There was a difference. It was the Liverpool-Barcelona game. So we get Martin Tyler for Champions League games out here. And I watched the Liverpool-Barcelona 4-0 with Martin Tyler as commentator. And he was hating it.
Yeah. Yeah, I've seen the clip.
And then you watch it. I've then rewatched it many a time on BT Sports footage. And the difference the game was brilliant, don't get me wrong. But you watch it with one commentator and then you watch it with another who are so different in their ways they do it. Just the BT Sport one just makes it more exciting with the commentators there. So I do pity having to listen to Martin Tyler because he only appears on Optus Sport for the Champions League games. Lee, you're looking confused.
Yeah, I'm confused because I didn't listen to Martin Tyler in the Barcelona game.
He does the Champions League games.
I'm not convinced.
Maybe it wasn't the Barcelona game, but there was other Champions League games last year that I had to switch off.
Because I remember being play-by-play comparisons with what's his face, Priya Jury and Martin Tyler's commentary. 2 differences.
Yeah, but that'd be a league game because we don't get Jim Beglin and Pete Jury.
It was on Bronikov Hendo's first goal, 1-0. I don't know. I'll have to listen to it.
Divock's first goal.
I could be wrong. Don't get me wrong. I have been wrong before. But, yeah, I'm not convinced. Let's just leave it at that.
Okay, cool.
It was a great
Anyway,
game.
Martin Tyler's a fucking muppet and I don't want to listen to him, so all good. Right. Anything else either of you want to bring up? Because you know what's coming.
I've got one more gripe at the minute since the restart, and I know I'm not alone here. Song 2 after the goals at Anfield.
What is that about?
It needs to go. It's like a League One thing.
Oh, it's like one of those clubs whose didn't Watford used to blast music out when they score at home, or someone like that. Someone who just wants to generate an atmosphere when they score. And I know obviously there's no fans there, but why play Blur 2?
Yeah, it's just
by Blur, sorry.
Like during the World Cups and stuff, you always get that dum 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 dum.
Yeah.
Dum. I was like, fucking shut up.
Yeah, I hate it.
It's the same. It's not needed. Just don't worry about it. I'd rather hear the cheers and the players clapping.
But that's it.
Else,
I'm watching every game without the artificial fans as well, because I like to hear the players sort of talking, because the artificial fans are crap because they're always delayed.
We are Liverpool.
Yeah.
So I'll watch it without the fans, and hearing that Blur song 2 every time we score just does my head in. So they need to sack that off. If we start next season and there's empty stadiums again, I hope they haven't got that again.
Me too.
Just get rid of it. It's rubbish. Okay, cool. So we will move on to the final piece of the pod. Brace yourselves. I'm not going to let you pick the number. I'm just going to read out a random question now.
12.
Let's go. So, what is the worst thing that a person can put on their bio on a dating app? Paul, I'm going to give you some time to think.
I've got a classic one that I've seen many a time. Do you want me to go with mine now?
Yeah, go with it.
Single and ready to mingle.
Yes. That's classic. Who doesn't like that?
Isn't that just a generic thing? I feel like I've heard that a million times.
Oh, yeah.
Exactly. So you wouldn't put it on a bio, would you?
So what was the actual wording of that?
What is the worst thing that a person can put on their bio on a dating app?
What's the worst thing? Oh, gosh.
Or support Man United, that's about it.
Yeah, well, that's the thing that's just given us red. I would think of something along the lines of...
Lee, these were your questions.
Yeah,
you have some.
I wrote them out ready for the pod the next sort of time we did one, but not for the next bloody 12 weeks or whatever.
I'm going. While you're thinking, I'm just going to put it out there.
Yeah, go on, you go.
Devoted husband.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
There you go. See, done.
So I'm thinking more along the lines of sort of like large and lubed or something along those lines.
Oh, fucking hell. Large and lubed, okay. Just make up a profile and put that. See how much. See how much hits it gets.
Twitter bio. Yeah, see what happens.
Hell. Yeah, do that. Right, I forgot one thing I want to talk about. Burnley. Paul, what would be your prediction for the game against Burnley? What is it, Saturday lunchtime for you, is it? Or 3 o'clock kickoff on Saturday?
I'm not 100% sure, to be honest.
It's midnight here, so it'll be 3 o'clock Saturday afternoon. So predictions for that.
Midnight.
Okay. I'm massively superstitious, so I hate doing predictions. But for the pod, I think we'll win, but I think it'll be a ground out one. I don't think it's going to be a pretty one to watch. I'm going to go maybe 2-0.
I'd take that.
Early goal and maybe a late one.
Late one
with a lot of hard work in the middle.
Yeah. No, I could see that. Lee?
We beat him 3-0, didn't we, at Turf Moor?
Yeah, and it was one of the most comfortable performances.
Yeah, it was like a couple of games in.
We Burnleyed them.
So what?
We Burnleyed them. We were proper filth in that game, and even their fans were getting pissed off of us.
Oh, look, I don't think it's going to be that ugly. Burnley are in that sort of middle area of just, they're done. They're not going to get relegated. They're not going to get into Europe. I think they're just going to coast now and just get the season over with injury free. I think it'll be a good 2-0, maybe 3-0 if we get lucky, but I don't think it'll be an ugly one. I think it'll be like 2-0 half time and we'll just cruise second half, something like that.
Cool. I'm going to put it out there and we'll say 4-0.
7-1.
4-0 done. With even some time for a cameo from Harvey Elliott, Curtis Jones, Nico Williams getting a few more minutes.
I think Curtis might start now without Hendo there.
Maybe. Could do. We'll see. But then you say Milner might come in. So we'll see. I think Salah will be desperate for a few more goals. So whether that works in our advantage or actually against us, we shall see, because he does get a bit greedy sometimes. But I'm going to go 4-0. Nice easy win. Bobby's going to get his first Anfield goal against Chelsea in the last Anfield game of the season. And be done like that. So I'm going to go with that. We'll be all right. Paul, don't feel nervous about making predictions. It's fine.
It means nothing.
I've got my superstitious lucky Liverpool pants on, and I'll be wearing them for the game, so there's no worries.
Cool, fair enough. It's on you then, yeah?
Yeah. And while we're on that, do either of you have any random superstitions when it comes to our games?
No. Absolutely no superstitions whatsoever in life in general.
Wanker.
Well, what do you want? Okay, do you want to make some shit up?
No.
Right.
Paul's got something here.
Well, I like wearing the same shirt until we lose. So I've got, obviously, the current home shirt.
Yeah.
And I've got the European badge and the Club Championship badge on the front. I've been wearing that this season for most of it. On the odd occasion we've lost. For the next game, I've maybe slipped into my retro 89 candy shirt.
Yeah.
Just so that, but I mean, I wouldn't say it's a superstition. It's just, I don't know. It's just one of them silly little things, isn't it?
Yeah. No, I don't know why I do it, because what I wear or what I do before the game has no impact on that game whatsoever. But
I've heard a lot about your lucky pants.
My lucky pants are good, but if I don't wear them, and there's been a couple of times this season I haven't worn them, and it's gone against us, so I actually think there's some magic there. There's some truth in it. I didn't wear them for the Atletico game. I randomly discovered afterwards, and we went out of the Champions League. I didn't wear them for the Watford game, which we lost. So read into that how you will. I don't know.
I wear things based on the current climate. So at the moment, I'll be wearing generally my fleecy pajamas with a nice robe.
Nice.
You know,
I just want to clarify to anyone listening, I don't just sit in
maybe
my
in
pants.
the summer, just be short. You know.
Yeah, true.
Anyway,
let's wrap this up. Paul, anything else you want to bring up?
No, I've enjoyed it actually.
Any shout outs you want to give to people?
Probably just to the other two Wilding boys. Like I say, helped me along my way to becoming a Liverpool fan. Spent some decent times down the pub watching some games back in the day with them. And obviously the couch and all the other guys on the couch, I listen to it regularly. I really enjoy it. But other than that,
good stuff. And we'll get you on again, because you've now broken that.
Pop my cherry.
You've popped your cherry. You've popped your podcasting virginity. So it's all done. So yeah, we'll get you on again. It's been good to have you on. I haven't spoke to you properly for a while, so it's been a pleasure, mate. And Lee, as always, thanks for joining me, you wanker.
We need to catch up in the city, man. We need to get it done.
We'll get that sorted with the rest of the LFC Couch boys once that's done. And so, yeah, thanks for joining me, both of you, and have a good night or a good day wherever you are. Thank you very much.
Happy days.
Thank you, guys.
Cheers.